inside the Masters 2025. So first we're going to go and hear what is new for winter 2025. We're going to then go through modules and see, what we're going to learn in modules. And also I will highlight, what we are adding to each of the modules. Then we're going to learn about the schedule. And then we're going to learn about the process to earn a diploma. So just so you know, diploma is not guaranteed. Just because you sign up, it doesn't mean you will be awarded a diploma. You'll see what you need to do in order to be awarded. And then I'm going to leave enough questions for Q&A at the end. Okay, so what is new? So the new is that instead of the color grading in theory and practice that we had in previous semesters, we have now a new class, which is called Induction class. So what I did is I have basically rewritten this whole concept of color grading in theory and practice and make it a little bit more comprehensive. And I have added some things that I felt were necessary, that were missing. We're going to see in a minute what they are. Then we're adding a completely new module, a module we didn't have before, and it's called AI Tools for Colorists. This year is a brand new year, and this is the year where we're going to go big on AI. AI was a little bit like a kind of, in works, the previous years, and it was there. It was a little bit experimental, but this year it is 100% happening. We see it being implemented in big production companies, in post-production companies. And I really think that now it's time for you guys to take advantage of these wonderful tools and accelerate your workflow. And another major thing that we're doing is the whole semester we will be teaching exclusively on DaVinci Resolve 19. So we are switching, we're upgrading to version 19. It's out of the beta. And we are going to introduce these new features as well as a part of the training curriculum and start taking advantages of them. Okay, so basically this is the three major kind of new things that we are doing. Some changes in schedule as well, but I'll explain that in a minute. So these are the modules that we're going to have. So first module is going to be Induction to Masters. The next module is going to be AI Tools for Colorists. I put it straight away because I feel like, let's get it out of the way. Let's learn all of those tools. And so as we go through the masters, we can just take advantage of these tools straight away. Then we're going to go through a revised feature film grading. Then we're going to go into commercials grading, simply because I find that the difficulty level of feature films grading is like a little bit more streamlined, and commercials grading is just has a much more things that are a little bit more difficult. So this is why I have this order. Then we're going to go into HDR. Probably one of the most important parts of the masters, looking from an employment perspective. Like, this is really where you gain the most credits in terms of the employability or being able to work on big big companies, right? Then we're going to go to look design and Shola development. We'll see some changes we're making there. And then we are finishing with the Look Academy. So this is the training. And then, as you always have to deliver the thesis at the end. Okay, so now let's learn a little bit about what is the Induction to Masters program. Some things, we had similarly, like, in the past, but some things are new. So one thing that I added new is I added the color science of digital cameras. I think this is really one chapter that I think, we have to start. Like we're starting a grading as a colorist, and this is the first thing we need to cover. I teach, this color science, in other courses, and I really think that students who complete those lessons are really, really benefiting from it. So, we're going to cover that first. And then this is a new module. I never taught this module like this before, and I really thought it's an important part, simply because I think we are now in a stage where we really want to preserve the science of film. I'm talking about analog film, about 35 millimeter film. And we are really going to extensively study the color science of film, of film, because, like we're going to be doing so much film emulation, and there is so much aesthetic about the looks that is embedded in that color science of film that I really felt it's necessary for us to cover that theoretically as well, for you guys to understand, how these numbers work, what they are, what are the characteristics, and so on. It's really interesting. It's actually, I'm writing a book at the moment as well, and I'm using some of it, and I love it. Then we're going to learn the color management. Like we really need to cover the aspects of color management. It's going to be like a really quicker class, not the full expanded master class in color management, but I'm just going to cover why we color manage and how we color manage. And we'll go primarily into advanced color management. Then we're going to go and practice primary and printer lights. This is one thing that if you ever ask me what was the most valuable part of my training when I was learning from, a senior colorist, was exactly that part. Nothing really taught me more about color grading than my ability to be able to operate primary and printer lights so well. And I have to tell you, I'm going to, teach you the same thing. I'm really going to teach you how you're going to be able to grade with very little, and hopefully wean you off of too many nodes. It seems to be like a kind of a current trend that you have to have 1 million nodes. And then, I just actually the other day, I walked into a grading suite of a really big colorist here in London, somebody who's kind of, won so many awards. And he was sitting there with 5 notes. I was just thinking, this guy makes all these amazing looks with just 5 nodes, unbelievable. So anyway, really something that I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that sometimes simplicity is the key. Then we're going to expand it into the CDL and SHOLA training. Really important for dailies, really important for all the other work. Then we're going to go to the color grading theory, image and emotion, story and color, elements of the look, and film emulation. Actually, everything up to elements of the look we had in our color grading and theory practice. So this is the part that I have, kept, because I thought this is the most fascinating research on color grading ever. Exactly that part. The only thing that I added is the film emulation, because I felt like, again, it requires really a chapter where we're going to go and delve a little bit more into it, really understand, what is the process and what the elements of that are. Then we're going to practice few looks. I always feel like, before you move into the kitchen, you need to go and learn some dishes, just to get a little bit some practical exercise. So before we move into grading films, commercials, let's kind of just, understand, how to make quickly, looks that are staple of our workflow. We're going to then build node structures or learn the best way how to build them. We are certainly encouraging all of you to have your own node trees, but some certain order of node trees is going to be interesting. And then we're going to go into qualifiers, when to use them, when not to use them, power windows, really important. And then we're going to go and finish on the mastering side, just a little bit, those exports. Why am I, screen matching? I'm on Windows, but when I export, doesn't look quite like that on Discord, and my Mac is looking like this, but when I export something like that. So we'll cover that straight away at the beginning, so that hopefully you guys, as you're moving along, your assignments are being uploaded, looking good, and so on. So it's really like just covering all of those aspects. And this is just induction, as getting to know each other, just learning the basics. And even though some of us have years of experience, it's actually really nice sometimes to remind ourselves on really those fundamentals, right? Then we're going to move straight into AI. And you wonder, my God, wait, why AI? Look, AI is not advanced. The technology is advanced, but the principle of AI is that it makes color grading simple, right? So there is nothing in AI that requires an extensive experience and incredible knowledge. In opposite, AI is there to make the things really simple for you. And the AI existed in DaVinci Resolve since version 16. 16 is when we had first neural engine, right? And I just kind of really like never really grouped those all those little tools into one. And I really felt like it's important for us now to do it, because AI is going to save you incredible amount of time, is going to accelerate your workload incredibly, and it's really going to elevate you. It's really going to separate you. It's really going to allow you to be more productive and more precise and better. So we're going to start with face refinement, with optical flow, with magic masks, with scene cut detection, with smart interlace. Maybe you need it one day. I actually just needed it the other day, like I was so good to know that there is a feature. We'll do object removals. We'll need it later in commercials. Smart reframe, hello, like a client wants something, to fit into the, portrait. Depth map, and we'll learn straight away how to use properly depth map, without your computer crashing and all of that. We'll use a little bit voice isolation. This is I promise, the only thing I will ever teach you about sound is going to be this part, just simply because you might need it. Like, anyway, and then we're going to do some face recognition. Interesting, like a tool that, sometimes people really don't think about it, but actually can really help you if you have a tons of media and sometimes you're trying to find the right shots. We're going to learn about the really incredible upscale. There is no need for any one of you guys to go outside and buy any external software. The upscale works really well. That there is the new IntelliTrack, the tracker. If everything else fails, there's IntelliTrack, or you might as well start with IntelliTrack. We'll see that. Then there is this new noise reduction. Still hasn't quite, beaten the what's it called, the famous Dutch plugin. Sorry, Neat Video, yeah. It didn't quite do that. And then we're going to work with the ColorLab AI's new version, which is the new version that works inside DaVinci, so the plugin version of ColorLab AI. We're going to finish with that, which is the really one that is relatively addictive, I have to say. Like, I'm finding myself quite enjoying playing with it and missing it when it's not there. All right, then we're moving to Feature Films Masterclass. The Feature Films Masterclass, we're going to learn conform, the strategies, we'll develop some look, we'll do color management, we'll, fix the node tree, like we have to fix node tree for features. And now we're going to introduce a new feature for version 19, which is called layer stacks. And we're going to explore them. I'm not saying that you have to use them, but what I'm going to teach you, they can be very useful. And then I'm expanding the look part for feature film class now extensively. Like, this is one part that I felt we needed to add. There was a lot of development that it was necessary to be done there. So first, we're going to do film emulation using just built-in tools in DaVinci Resolve. I just kind of read somewhere in forums, somebody complaining that my classes are using my plugins only. So I was like, sure, no problem. I'll bring just a DaVinci Resolve tool, no plugin. And I think it's fair point. Let's learn how to work without plugins as well. Then we are going to bring the mid-level plugin, which is Look Designer, and we're going to build some film emulation with that. And also be able to compare the results, right? We can see what's the new plugin from version 19 doing, what's Look Designer doing. We'll see, the results. We'll be able to see what looks better and worse. And then we're bringing a brand new tool, which we haven't had a chance to teach in any one of our classes before, which is called FilmLab AI. And this is this high-end film emulation plugin that is, just incredible. And so we'll see, like, and also, like, as we learn, like, all these different tools, and we'll be able to understand what the benefits are, what disadvantages are, and so on, right? And then we're going to continue by developing some day for night looks, some sky replacements, very simple to begin with, then some object removals, quite, nothing too complicated, out of focus footage. And then we're going to have a new denoising. And this denoising is going to use the new tools from DaVinci. Then we're going to learn about mastering, DCPs, mastering to IMF formats, to ProRes formats, and so on. We're going to have an updated Blackmagic Cloud because they have really changed a lot of features there. And I'm going to also continue letting you use our Blackmagic Cloud for you guys to experiment and to play together. And then we're going to do a little bit more remote workflow. And then most importantly, what I'm bringing now in is the new tool that I'm keep using so much. I love it because I have an iPad. It's called Remote Monitor. It's kind of, really your cheapest HDR monitoring tool. It's incredible, and now they made it so that it runs on your local network as well, so it can be like running at a pretty good quality. Anyway, it's brilliant. It's actually, those tools used to cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So just so you know, I mean, there are still some tools that I think facilities prefer to use, but for independent colors, this is absolutely the best thing. We're going to learn a little bit about depth, because now we can bring the depth tool in, and like how we're going to get better texture, smoke, and so on. And then we'll learn and we do some more stuff that is not just grading. I call it beyond color. Okay. Then we're moving on to the commercials masterclass. The commercials masterclass is really about finishing. It's about you making every frame a piece of art. Really, this is what it is. This industry was born on the shoulders of commercials, and still today, this is your bread and butter for many of us. Feature films come and go, right? Feature films have seasons, and sometimes there's lots of them, sometimes there's none. Oh, there's a strike, there's no more features. Oh, whatever. Commercials are consistent. There is always a commercial, and there is going to be always one, and there's going to be more and more of them, right? And they are actually going in your direction, in the direction of independent colorists. They are not going in the direction of big facilities. They know commercials have to budget a little bit more. So, this is really where you're not just going to be any freelance colorist, but somebody who really has skills of finishing something, where we used to go to flame, back in the day, and so on. So we'll do some shot matching, Pantone matching, cleanups, removals. And then I'm adding a new sky replacement. So this is a sky replacement where camera's panning, right? So far we did a sky replacement, a lot of shots. Now we're going to have some panning shots as well, because that can happen as well. I'm expanding there. We're doing some skin cleanups, all manual first. And I'm also teaching you manual, because you need to know manual. When automatic doesn't work, you need to know this. And then I'm bringing a new one, which is called the frequency separation. So we had the manual frequency separation originally. Now we're bringing some new tools into that are a little bit easier to operate. Super important for skin. And then we're also going to see how to use the AI beauty. It is actually a tool that might not win you an award for best skin, but it can actually accelerate. Again, great AI tool. And then we'll practice by using all the different commercials: car commercial, lifestyle commercial, pack shots, logo replacements. And then finally, we'll get a new and updated mastering part. This mastering part is always evolving. Right now we're focusing on different screens and so on, whether or not you should be using HDR and so on. Then we'll move into the HDR class. Okay. So this is kind of class that will actually give you this incredible kind of, skill that normally, you would have to, work on several HDR jobs to get to that level, it will cut down your learning curve to very short amount of time. We'll go through DaVinci settings, how to work simultaneously in SDR, HDR. We'll learn HDR using RCM2, HDR using ACES, HDR using log C, and now the new things is HDR using JP log 2. It has also incredible advantages, each one of them. Then we'll learn about the base grade nit values. We'll learn how to control color, the gamut compression part, the round tripping, very important, sending stuff in and out using ACES 2065. We'll learn a little bit more about tonal mapping. We'll also see, like in the tonal mapping, I'm adding, like a kind of two approaches, there that are generally used, so you can see the difference. And then we'll finish, with, what to do with skin tones, what to do with night scenes, how to deal with effect shots, and some other techniques that are necessary, like to know, like for all those quirky shots that will come. Sometimes you'll just get an archive footage, right? And you'll be like, okay, how am I going to get that into HDR? And then we'll finish Dolby Vision. Now, I will teach you stuff about Dolby Vision that you won't learn in a course of Dolby Vision. And also, I'm hoping that this year, again, I'm going to be able to negotiate a good deal for you to join the Dolby Vision training. Last year we had it for free. I'm not sure if this is going to happen this year as well. I hope it does. So that you can also get a full Dolby Vision training and certification. This is absolutely recommended part of it, and you need to go through Dolby. By the way, it's a wonderful experience. The person who's teaching it is great. I did this training myself a few times because every time they update it, I kind of did it myself. So then we're going to go into the look design masterclass. This is the class that most students report back to me as the class that helped them win the job. I would never have thought so, but I just got an email from an Italian colorist who said to me the only reason why the production chose to work with him over a big facility in Rome was the way how he presented the look, and he'd learned this primarily in the look design masterclass. And I couldn't agree with him more. I use the same skill myself to elevate myself and to pitch better for work. It is new way of working. It's a way of working when look is developed at the start of the show and you understanding how to approach it, how to create look, how to communicate look with the rest of the production is just absolutely important to understand who are the main players in production, how we work as a team, how we build look, how we make everybody happy or not happy, who do we care about and who we don't care about. You have to decide that as well. What is your view? What is importance of colorists? You need to understand how other people that are working with you see you. What is it that you bring to table that they don't have? How to communicate the look with them, how to develop the look, how to share the references, how to translate, those kind of, their thoughts and ideas into a new look. What are the elements like contrast, palette, texture, optics meaning like, how we simulate sometimes lenses. And then the new part is I'm introducing an array of DCTLs. So this is actually going to be in line what we're going to do. Like we will have another seminar you'll see where you will potentially be able to create your own DCTLs already. I think if you're a little bit like, keen to get your hands dirty with coding using AI tools, you might be really able to do that. And you'll come up with an idea to do it. I just had one of our previous students send me her first DCTLs. And, the ideas that she had about them was absolutely fantastic. It's just that maybe, just after a little bit more work and finishing, this will be absolutely fantastic tools. So, yeah, so that's a new part. I want you to, use this class as a way to explore possibilities to how you can have some tools that nobody else got. And then we're going to develop looks using FilmLab AI. They are a little bit more difficult to do because of the new color science and all of this, how to burn and what to burn, what not to burn, and all of this stuff. So we have to bring it in. And by that time, we hope we're going to have also this new format of a master LUT, the encrypted LUT. So, this is also going to be a great way for you to continue mastering this tool to basically be very, prolific in using the FilmLab AI. Then we're going to learn how to make a show LUTs, the look Bibles, how to stress test everything. And then there's going to be the 2 practical look developments that we will be doing and really warming up for the finale, because the finale is the Look Academy Masterclass. where, you know, we will invite again some of the best students we worked in the past with, who are just absolutely amazing in building looks. We will have again some top guest lectures. Just to remind you, last semester we had a Dr. Barbara Flüchtinger, and we had a Utsi as well from ARI. Unbelievable presentations, really inspirational. Then we're going to study films. We're going to study a little bit, you know, directors, learning about them, who they are, cinematographers, how they work. We're going to little bit then experiment with our techniques. And this is what's very important. This is a class where you work. I'm not allowed to show you anything. Maybe sometimes I just grab something and just, you know, maybe answer some, you know, questions or something, but only it's you who share your looks and with others, and it's just really unbelievable. It is like probably one class I could do every day, you know, I have to say. What are the new seminars? Oh, ignore summer. This is winter, and it's not summer, it's winter. So what are the new classes? So it's look consistency. The look consistency is the part where I'm where I'm basically showing you, you know, all these questions I always get. How's my screen? What should be my color management? Should I export as this tag, that tag? So that's what we will learn. We'll learn that already at the beginning, right? Then we're going to go into denoising. One of the first, you know, kind of things, you know, you're going to stumble across, you know, on your first independent feature that didn't have enough lighting was, oh, the shots came out quite underexposed. Then we're going to be creating DCTLs with AI. So we will literally like, you know, say, okay, what's the DCTL we want to create? Okay, let me show you how you type this into AI, how it comes out. Oh, it's not working. Okay, let me show you how you tell AI that it's not working, and then AI fix it for you, and so on. So basically, it's a kind of an iterative process, but, you know, requires very little knowledge of actual coding, some understanding of code, and that's what I'm going to teach you. And then we're going to finish with business essentials. I find that this is actually right timing as well, because we are finishing the masters. We're getting you ready into the big wild world. We want you now to go get, you know, successful. So having a little bit inspiration for the business side of the things at the end of it, I think it's very important. You want to really understand that, you know, like your skill is of grading is 50%. Your business skill is another 50%. And so I'll help you, you know, succeed in that as much as I can. Okay, additional lectures, there will be finally the color grading challenges are finishing. I'm publishing them next week. And there will be a completely new AI creator. The tools have now changed, and I'm basically completely rewriting, you know, from the, you know, we're going to be learning Midjourney, the Flux, the video generation tools, the, you know, all beauty tools. So everything, the new audio tools, the new voiceover tools. So basically everything is less just, you know, being like a, you know, newly big. And that was my expectation when I started teaching it. I knew that I'm going to have to constantly update. So yes, it's a tool that course that will constantly do it. And you as a master student, you will get advantage of being able to access those courses for free. We're going to see who the guest lecturers are. I'm already talking to some people, and I have some ideas, interesting people that I can't wait to tell you who is going to join. So yes, you can expect that we're going to continue to give you some, you know, really, really interesting and important industry figures. Okay, so that would be kind of, you know, the you know, overview of what you will be learning, and then comes the diploma part, right? So first of all, we're going to be going for 6 months straight. Okay, we're starting on September 24, so it's exactly in 22 days. The live classes will be every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and seminars will be once a month. Like we have 4 months where the seminars will be happening on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're also going to have office hours. They can happen monthly on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Sometimes we schedule them a different time, depending, you know, if I find that we need to like connect more. And then when exactly the guest lecture will happen is usually during the Look Academy. So I'll let you know when that's happening. Okay. So what is the time that you need to commit in order to make it really worthwhile for you? Okay. And really, if you can spare 4 to 6 hours per week minimum, this is for you to attend the class and to do your self-study. Now, assignments, some assignments you'll be very quick, some assignments you won't. And that's okay. Some assignments is learning, it's like, you're trying to learn. So some assignments will be super easy for you. Think, oh my God, they were a little difficult. Also, I might say that the assignment's not good. I'll review it and I'll say, no, you have to do it again. I have a feedback. So, so you have to anticipate that the assignments will vary in amount of time that you'll need to spend on them. We'll have a Christmas break. We'll have also a midterm break. So we are not going to be consistently. We have pauses. It's not 6 months straight. We'll have breaks, okay? And also there will be like a break very close to the NAB as well. Then we have now decided to extend the thesis time. And by the way, this is what I'm just about to send an email, inform the students from summer. We are extending the thesis simply, like, well, it is kind of quality question, right? And I believe that a little bit more time is going to give students opportunity to deliver better thesis, and also we're going to give them an opportunity to have their thesis pre-reviewed before it's been submitted. So that if you're in doubt whether things are all formatted correctly or whether some facts are correct or not correct, it's good to have somebody run over it. So we'll give you that opportunity as well. And then we need more time to review it. When you get a thesis, you kind of need sometimes few hours at least, to go through it, to read to it, to understand, to really like soak it in, and that takes time, so we are extending the time for thesis, so that you will need to, once we finish the Look Academy, there will be a now extended period that we're adding to it. And as one of the first questions you always ask me, hey, I can't attend all the classes, I'm in this country, that country, or whatever. Don't worry, you can always watch live streams, and you can go back and watch live streams. And if you're busy, you end up working on a job and you can't watch, you can always rewatch. So basically, the live streams are always there. Okay. So you will then have to submit. So what is the diploma? Basically, important for diploma is the Look Academy assignments. They are most important assignments. We'll look that you have, submitted previous assignments and that they're good or so on. But really, when we kind of, score your diploma, we look at and you will have to submit your assignments together with your thesis as well. So they are connected, okay? They are the peak of your development. Then we're going to look at the thesis research and writing. So basically, thesis is not just, oh, I've made a thesis, I've filled like so many, words. No, it's like, what kind of research did you do for it? How much did you go into? Where did you get this research from? What are your sources? Are they correct? Okay. And then also, in terms of the writing, do you have any practical examples? Do you, have you like tried it yourself? Is it like everything in ChatGPT, or you were actually like really putting your own input into it, right? So that's kind of really what we're evaluating. And then we are always hoping to bring the test in, and this time we have actually test. We just haven't entered it in. It's very simple technical test, but I think we're going to finally have it working, just to kind of make sure that you don't really say you have a diploma and you don't know what's the gamma of, P3 projector. And then we're going to meet in Los Angeles, for a finals, depending, how many of you decide to come, we'll make it as big or as small as necessary. Actually, I have to tell you, the last, meetup when we met at the end was so beautiful. I mean, you know, they couldn't get us out of that little theater where we had like the event. I mean, we were standing there on the pavement like for hours. And Lorenz even managed to miss his plane the next morning. So yes, it was actually wonderful. And Gary turned up with the Maserati. So yeah, it was a Hollywood experience. Let me tell you this. It was good. It was good. It was very good. So yeah. So really, like guys, you know, what we really look from you is that you have participated in assignments, that you have submitted your Look Academy, that you scored high enough on the test, and that your master thesis is wonderful. And based on that, we're also gonna have what we call finalists, and these finalists. I have recorded like a podcast with the last year finalists, and we'll publish them, you know, starting next week. Sorry. You know, fascinating. You know, I have to tell you, fascinating. Fascinating is to see the talent that we have in our classes. It's just so great. And it's actually finally, I feel like there is a podcast that is talking about color without talking to colorists only, like in a way, like, you know, how colorists normally talk. And then I did this job and this job and so on, you know, something that's really like actually interesting where we can learn something, you know, like, I think it's the kind of educational as much as it's entertaining, I have to say. Okay, what we include is also software in value of $600. So you'll get a Film Lab license and Colab AI Pro license for full 6 months of the duration. And if you need it more while you're writing your thesis or something like that, we will happily extend it. Plus, you get a 50% discount on any of these licenses as a master student. So yeah, so that would be like a quick, you know, overview, a quick, you know, what was that, half an hour, 40 minutes? Not so quick. It's a 6 months program, but you know, I'm now open to answer any questions that you have that, you know, this particular, you know, presentation has opened.